I'm David Lovejoy with KGNC News Radio. I'm here with Mr. James Schenck, who's running for place 2 in the City Council race coming up May 6th. And
early voting begins 2 weeks earlier than that.
2 weeks earlier than that.
I think it's the 24th. Or
not
26th.
Endorsing anybody here personally, but get out and vote. That's the key thing. Mr. Schenck, let me ask you a few questions. What made you decide to run for City Council?
Well, I've always been a citizen involved with government, whether it's local, state, or national. I pay attention. As a young boy, I was 10 years old, 11 years old, and sitting playing chess with my dad after John Kennedy got shot. All of a sudden, Dad says, we're playing on the old Samsonite table there in Olton, Texas, and my dad's mom, call Rose, my mom. House is smelling good. It's Thanksgiving time. If you can catch that picture, and we're looking at that big old box TV, as you can imagine, in 1963. They're bringing that guy out. It's Lee Harvey Oswald come walking down through the chambers. All of a sudden, a guy jumps out there and shoots him. Well, that's not impressionable on an 11-year-old boy, and I'm going, we used to always watch Walter Cronkite and stuff like that. Excuse me. And anyway, that got me interested. I said, Dad, this is obviously serious. They didn't have instant replay, so you didn't get to see it till later that evening when everybody was. And I realized there was some important things going on. I'm not military, but I'm from a military type family. My father was a Marine, and my brothers were in the service, and my mom poked me on the chest, said you need to go to college, and I said, well, okay. So I came up here to WT in 1970. You're asking me why I decided to run. Well, part of that's built on that. I'm a believer in liberty and freedom is gained at every step of the way in government. You have to, I believe all good government starts at the local level. So does all bad government. Lately we've been seeing bad government. And I say lately, that's over the last several decades. I mean, I'm fixing to be 65 years old. I don't come to this easily. I've been watching things go that I'm really concerned about. And so I started going to the council meetings, but I started going periodically way back and watching the way it was unfolding. In fact, spend time with old city managers and old mayors just to sort of go, what's going on? Things were, Amarillo was a good spot. It was growing. It almost had this natural synergism of growth just because we're the only ones out here on the high plains, and people have to come here or go to OKC or Albuquerque or Dallas or Denver. So we've got a natural progression. We got a nice river coming right through here called I-40, and another one coming through is I-27. So it's got a natural progression going on. As I'm watching that, I'm seeing some things going on that I'm a little disappointed in, where much like up in Washington, you see a lot of influence peddling going on. You see things that are happening that one of the worst forms of capitalism, in my opinion, is crony capitalism, where people buy influence. People put themselves out there and they sort of brother-in-law with each other, if you know what I mean. And so I've been seeing some of that because we've had the same people that have been basically on the boards and on the council and things like that. And there was times when I really wished I could have gotten in, but as most people know, there's a lot of time to be a council member, but there's not any pay per se. It's $10 a meeting.
Right.
I have no problem with that. I think it keeps people from getting involved because you can't give up 20, 30 hours a week as a young businessman that I've been for quite a while, 38 years in the insurance and investment business. And my wife and I, between us, we have 7 kids and 7 grandkids. I've got a lot of other things I could be doing, but I talked to her about it. She knows I've been involved, and as you know, I've been I've been like the 6th council member for the last probably 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And it's just by default because I'm not trying to really stir the pot down there, just asking questions. and watching, and sort of disappointed in some of the things that I'm seeing continue to develop. And once I started being what I would consider sort of a watchdog and an advocate for the citizen, I ran into things that were people didn't like to really talk about, which makes me even more curious. And as I dug into that, we found out to where we're involved with a lot of downtown things that are costing a lot of money, a lot of ignoring certain areas of the city that is causing a lot of problems. And you know, when you talk about why you want to get into this job, I just want to get in behind and actually work with the budgets. I'm a tax and debt kind of guy. Taxes and debt are what kills a city, and it keeps people from coming here, and it keeps people from paying their bills and stuff. So I will be a strong budget-minded person. But the reason I jumped in is time. I do have some time, and I want to take advantage of doing this. And if I'm elected, which I think I will be, I hope I will be, the citizens will have an advocate that will be watching over and try to make Amarillo strong. Strong, and I mean by solvent. It's one of my key things is debt and taxes. The next is public safety. And public safety includes police and fire, and it includes other things in the streets and roads, but it seems like government at our city level has really gotten spread out trying to be the jack of all trades, and it's costing us a lot of money.
This is the first issue in the city that you want to address. Day one, agenda one, what is the first issue you think is most important and is personal to you that you want to address?
Boy, just to narrow it down to one, I've been way too involved to,
Right.
I have a scope of things. And I don't even know when that day actually starts. Does it start the day after we're elected, or does there some sort of
period and then
yeah,
you get sworn in, yeah.
because some of the things, but to not get too politicky about, I want to make world peace and
Right.
and things like that. I'm more involved with getting control of the budget in my mind, and I do things that are, I have the last 10 years of where we've been. You don't know where you're going to go unless you know where we've been. And I have those, and so I have a lot of questions about which direction we're going to be going. So I guess budgetary ideas would be the main thing that I want to look at quickly. And then I want to look and analyze the other revenue sources that keep property taxes and debt low, that are not adding to property taxes and debt. And those are other taxes that people pay in this city. Sales tax, which is the AEDC. They collect a lot of money, close to a little over $18 million a year that they have coming in to use for their different projects. The hotel occupancy tax, which is leaned on very heavily by the Civic Center and the Globe News Center and other projects that are of that nature.